Hey guys, I'm Swiffer and I'm the mid laner for Team Immunity.
I'm Spookz, I'm the jungler.
And I'm Rosey, the support team.
So yeah, it was a surreal experience for all of us, and I think we were blown away by I was blown away by the hospitality and generosity of the Chinese people. In particular, our host, Jerry, who took us around everywhere at WCG, showed us as much as he could. The hotel was amazing. We each got our own rooms separately so that we didn't have to share, which was brilliant. And yeah, those were the highlights of the trip, that and trying to cross roads, which was simultaneously hilarious and horrifying because there were no traffic lights. And yeah, Sam, do you have anything to add?
As Simon said, the Chinese culture was really interesting. It was my first trip overseas, so it was a really overwhelming experience to travel with my team and participate against some of the best teams in the world.
When we, just to play against CJ Plays was a pretty big accomplishment, I feel, for all of us, because I'm pretty sure we've always wanted to verse Koreans.
I mean, it was like, yeah, the first time we've come up against international teams and to be placed in the same group as one of, widely considered to be one of the top Korean teams was overwhelming, to say the least.
And to have an early lead on them, I think after we had that early lead, we thought that we accomplished what we wanted. Like, we went into the laning phase just thinking, alright, we just want to just 2v2 bot lane, 1v1 mid lane, 1v1 top, and see how we went against, mechanically. And I feel that, well, the score kind of showed when we were 6-1 up that mechanically skilled, I think we come up pretty good against Koreans, which was...
Yeah, we're not trying to say that we're as good as them, obviously, but we think we might be close just based on that early game that we had. Yeah. And what went horribly wrong was so after we got our advantage, which is what we set out to do, we didn't really know how to close out the game against such a superior opponent because, and it was just difficult because their map rotations and everything were just so much better than ours.
And after watching the replays, the warding, just their ward coverage, it was when you realise how much wards they have on the map, you're like, okay.
Like, we bought 2 and we're like, oh, I can't push.
It was hard to compete with their coordination.
Yeah.
I feel like we learned a lot from the game though.
It was insane actually, the way they rotated and caught us off guard everywhere. So yeah, the first time that we saw CJVSO plays was after we finished the opening banquet, and they had just arrived and they were in the hotel lobby. And we saw them from a distance, and it was a moment, I think, in our careers where we're like, oh, we're here with one of the best Korean teams in the world, and completely overwhelmed, obviously. I mean, I was, but a few people mustered up the courage to go and ask them for autographs or take photos, which was probably, in hindsight, quite unprofessional, but these are Korean players, CJVSO players, to be more precise, and it was just such an experience, completely intimidated by them, couldn't actually open my mouth and talk to them, just observe from a distance while being rather giddy, I think. And yeah, that was the first time we saw them. And then the second time we saw them was after we lost our game to them. And I have to say, the person on their team that left a lasting positive impression, the most positive impression, they were all awesome people, but Lustboy in particular is actually hilarious in real life, especially the jokes he makes, which I can't divulge here because they're inappropriate. But yeah, that was it.
It was good enough to make Pastry Monty laugh in the lobby, so...
Yeah, he even approached me, which was really exciting, but I didn't know how to react, so I just panicked like a fanboy.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so probably Little Wraiths would be our main competition, despite them dropping, I think, was it a series or a game?
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
Okay, series to Avant. I think they're going to make it through the loser bracket and definitely make it to the finals. Avant are a great team, but I just think Little Wraiths probably they just underperformed in that particular series, and I think that it was, just that, and that's why I think that we'll come up against them in the finals.
They already showed that they can beat us in the Go For Monthly, and they played really well. I think that we didn't play our best then, but they definitely showed, I think in their respective roles, we found it the hardest, and that's why we scrim against them a lot. Yeah.
And that's why hopefully we do verse them in the finals again, and then hopefully we can put on another good series for
Our fans. Yeah.
everyone to watch. I feel that Season 4 has really opened the game for a lot of changes, especially with new champions that can be played in roles, the item changes for supports in the jungle.
Yeah. With the jungle item changes, I feel like you can get access to a lot more gold with the increase of gold availability from the jungle and the item bonus. Also, on top of that, the changes to the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith have allowed a lot of AP junglers to become better as well. And mastery changes, I feel like the buffs to mastery changes are a bit too high. I feel like you can run any mastery on a lot of champions that do really well. For example, on Monday you can go 0-30-0 and become almost unkillable mid to late game.
Yeah, just on one of your earlier points with like the rise of AP junglers. Like at the moment, because of the changes to gold flow and everything with supports and the like AD carries don't have as much of an impact anymore because everyone is building Randuins now, and it's just almost impossible for them to kill anyone in the front line. So that really has like raised the prominence of mid lane and AP carries in the mid in general. So I think they, like Riot, might need to address that kind of power imbalance that's come about at the beginning of this pre-season.
Maybe you can buff some AD carries.
Buff AD carry, like, because at the moment AD carries are only picked for their utility. I mean, you have Sivir mainly for her ult, which is the movement speed thing, and Lucian for
Lucian's just
CC.
overpowered.
Yeah, and Lucian's OP because he just dominates every lane. But yeah, that's why at the moment you have most people, like in the OGN and everything, like all the MVPs are mid laners because they look like they have the most impact, because the other roles aren't really like the
Just utility
Yeah.
roles now.
Or like top lane Bruiser,
Yeah,
jungle
top-
Bruiser,
exactly.
support,
bruiser.
tanky.
Yeah, and then AD carries are like, I can auto attack randoms. It's like good one.
But with the ward changes, like green wards, you can only have 3 put down per player at one time.
Yeah, and one.
And 1 pink, except pinks are now like always visible, but have 5 hits, which I think is actually a really good change for the game. Like if you can keep that pink ward up, then it's actually like really cost effective and shuts down their vision. And with the 3 per player down at one time, it really gives support a lot more gold to like buy items for, like if they want to build support items, auras, like a locket or
The Crucible.
yeah, Crucible, Mikhail's, or even just go tanky if you're playing like a Leona character. You can go like Randuin's, Frozen Heart,
Or AP if you want.
or AP if you're like me and playing Annie and you want to go Morello's, Deathcat, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
On top of what Andrew's saying, I think with the pink ward change as well, it allows to make plays, like you can create baits with the pink ward being visible, and I think the game is a lot more action packed because even though every champion has a ward early game, the wards only last 60 seconds, and I think there's a lot more skirmishing potential. Just watching the OGN, there seemed to be a lot more action, and yeah.
Yeah, and we found that as well in solo queue. Like junglers now are more often invading because no one can see them doing that. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot more explosive early game, which is a lot better.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
me and
anyway.
Simon have found that mid jungle has a lot more skirmishing potential now with the shutdown of like the level 1 wards, because supports can't afford to ward
Yeah,
that
and
much level 1 anymore.
especially like bot lane's really prone to getting ganked early now because you don't really start a ward. You start like a gold item and like 3 pots or something, so you can actually have lane presence.
Mid lane's almost like exactly the same because like the lane's short anyway, so you're not going to die that often to gank. So the ward changes really didn't affect the safety of mid lane, mainly top and bot I think, which are the longer lanes. So
And the trinkets also allow to get better ward coverage. I wouldn't say coverage, but like with the lens and stuff, you can take out the enemy ward vision and create more plays.
Yeah, and then if you're like if you're playing like a really kind of aggressive mid laner against like a passive one or something, you can get the revealing trinket or whatever it is and apply a lot of pressure to them by removing their wards or whatever. Yeah, that's really kind of cool the way they've done that. Yeah, there's one that was kind of introduced. Was it introduced to you as well at WCG?
Yeah, I think that was the first time I heard it.
Yeah, so Derek took it upon himself to, I don't know, start saying something before every match since WCG, and Sam has an impression of it.
Well, it just seems like before every game, to get himself pumped, he likes to say, "Yeah, let's bring home the mighty boys." It's pretty lame, but
it's so lame.
It's pretty funny at the same time.
We all laugh, and it puts us in a good mood, except Derek kind of takes it seriously. So, I mean, good for him. That's what we do before games. Yeah, I might be able to start streaming soon. It all depends on whether or not I gain access to the NBN relatively soon.
As for me, I have a stream set up, and I hope to stream soon. It does get a little bit laggy at times, but I think I have a stable enough internet connection in this stream.
And I haven't tried streaming yet. I don't know if I will, but...
Despite the recent upset, we hope to regain our position as dominant OCE, as the dominant OCE team. At the end of 2013, going into 2014. I think we all hope to get more opportunities to participate in international events, and I think Rosey really wants to go to another wildcards.
Yeah, definitely going to another wildcards and actually just rocking up and actually like taking it and going to Worlds, because I mean we know what it's like to face a Korean team, but I think going to Worlds would just be another step up, just meeting all the other pro players, more Korean teams, just having that opportunity to show what we can do against top tier teams, and hopefully actually do something on the world stage.
Yeah,
be a really big privilege.
Yeah. And I hope we stay together as a team, because after WCG, I think we've all kind of became kind of friends, I suppose. So it's not just a team thing anymore. It's like we know each other now. So we hope we can maintain that.
As for me, I hope that I can just step up my jungling skill to get to a world-class level, so that I just feel like I have a lot of room to improve, and I want to be able to keep up with my team, because I feel like we have some of the best carries in even the world, honestly. So yeah.
We're Team Immunity. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Intel, BenQ, Gigabyte, Antex, SteelSeries, Gale, and Red Bull.
Thanks for your support, guys.
Appreciate it.